a special focus on use of scientific tools and software. We are honored to have with us our distinguished guest, Dr. Mukut Sharma sir, Associate Professor, Department of Library and Information Science, Assam University, Silchar. A very warm welcome to you, sir. It gives me immense pleasure to have the honor to introduce you, sir. Before joining the department, sir has worked as a librarian senior grade in Pandu College, Guwahati for 11 long years. Sir has obtained his training from National Institute of Science Communication and Information Resources, New Delhi, and Indian Institute of Sciences, Bangalore, and possesses practical knowledge on web designing, open source software, database development, networking, and many more. Sir has a lifelong membership of Indian Library Association, Indian Association of Special Libraries and Information Centers, Indian Association of Teachers in Library and Information Science, Management Library Network, and International Library and Information Science Society. Sir has completed 2 research projects sponsored by University Grants Commission and have contributed more than 75 research papers in different conference proceedings and journals across the world, including University of Colombo, Sri Lanka, and National Taiwan Normal University. Sir has also authored a book on ICT applications in academic libraries, along with the conference proceeding of 5th Convention Planner 2007, organized by Information and Library Network Center. Till date, Sir has supervised 7 PhD scholars and 5 MPhil scholars in various research fields, including IT applications in libraries, library automation, information retrieval, bibliometric analysis, digital library, and many more. Today, we are grateful to have you, sir, among us, and he will be sharing his knowledge on secondary sources of data, where and how. We all are looking forward to it, sir. So with this, I would like to hand over the session to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So I'd like to confirm whether I am audible to all the participants. Can anybody confirm?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much for the introduction on me. And I'm very much happy that I've been with the gathering, all the research scholars, participants from different organizations. And it's a honor for me that I'll be sharing some of my ideas amongst you. First of all, I would like to know some of the technical things from the organizing committee. Is it possible to share the screen by the participants if I ask to do that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. And the second is, if I ask some questions, maybe in the chat box, so will there be any chance that we can have the, question answer sessions during the class itself? Will it be possible, or should I keep it for the last of the session?
Sir?
Sir, in our previous sessions, we have kept it in the last part of the lecture.
Okay.
But if you wish, you can take it right now.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. And the last, thing that I would like to know, I just shared one page of prerequisites. Some points I gave to the organizing committee to send to the participants so that they can make the arrangement, so that I can use those things in my practical sessions. So I'd like to know whether the participants have done this or not. So
we have already shared, sir, in the WhatsApp group. So I hope all the participants got this notification which I have written. So I think all of you have installed this Mendeley software, and what are the prerequisite things? I think all of you have in your laptops. So I hope
Okay.
every participant's good.
Thank you. So I mean, the explanations, the discussions will be definitely some theoretical parts will be there, and I'd like to take you to my practical sessions so that all the participants can understand how to make use of some of the very well-known, popular software to make the things very easy while writing a report. So with that, I would like to just start my session. Again, I would like to thank all the organizing committee, principal sir, Bahana College, and all the participants for being in this discussion. So now can I share my screen?
Yes, sir. You can share.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, just before doing that, may I know any of the participants who has done, who has saved one Word file in your system, or who has downloaded? May I know his or her name? Any of the participants, so that I can make a request him or her to use his or her laptop and do it practically, so that others can see how it is done. Any of the names, they can put their name in the chat box. Dhrubajyoti Borgohain, thank you. Yeah. So Sabita Panchal also, fine. So I would like to, call the name of Dhruvo frequently, because I have seen his name in the chat box. Okay, just so that will be in the last part of my presentation. So I'll be sharing my screen now. Is it visible to all of you?
No, sir.
Okay, just wait a second.
Yes, sir. It is visible now.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Visible.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for confirmation. Okay, the topic that I have been assigned is on secondary sources of data, where and how. I just listened to the previous speaker of today's sessions, Professor Joydeep Barua. He has elaborated most of the things that I too collected and wanted to share with you. So it means that I don't have to, repeat those points that already Professor Joydeep Barua sir has already spoken to you or discussed. So I'll be skipping those points, and the points which he did not cover. So I'd like to cover only those points. So maybe I may have many more slides, but I'll be skipping those slides which have been, those points which have already been covered. So my topic for discussion is secondary sources of data, where and how. And the whole discussion.
Sir, one request, sir.
Yeah, please.
Click on the hide button so that we can see your full screen. This
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it okay now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the whole discussion I have divided into 4 main parts. The part 1 will be data, the concept and meaning, primary data and secondary data. Then the part 2 of my discussion will be on role of data while doing a research study, then types of secondary sources of data. And the part 3 will be on when and how to collect secondary data, and how to insert citations of secondary sources in the research report. And so in my last part of the discussions, I'll be doing some practicals with you. So these four will be the 4 parts of the whole discussions. I'll start with part 1, giving the meaning of data. And I shouldn't repeat the definitions or, the meaning of data. Everybody knows it. But I have something to share with you. We always talk about data, information, knowledge, and so on. But if data, we consider it as the inputs. And what is the next form of data? Definitely this is information. That means when we collect some data and when we process it, we get information. So that is the second stage. And when we move to the next stage, we get the knowledge. So is there the last stage or fourth stage or something after data, information, and knowledge? After that, what?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay, fine. So, yeah, that is the, you can see the prism. Thank you very much. So we can see the prism. We can see at the bottom data, then we can see information. Then we talk about knowledge. And if we ask something, what is that, on what is the topic, or anything starting with what, normally we get the information. And when we ask a question, how to, adding the word how, so we get the information of knowledge. That means knowledge is something more than the information. And again, why? What is the best? And if we try to get the answer, we talk about that one, the last stage. And if we see, when we talk about doing things right, normally we talk about information and knowledge. Then when we talk about doing the right things, so we refer something else. Consider data and information. Data is a collection of facts such as numbers, words, measurements, observations, or even just descriptions of things. Again, when we talk about information, this is summarization of data. Already I have told you, and everybody knows it. I'm just repeating something so that I can take you from the bottom to the top. And I have seen among the participants there are some scholars, there are some teachers who have already done their PhD, or they have been working in some organizations. So for them, maybe they may find it something which is very simple. But for my understanding, I'm just going from bottom to the top to my lecture. So summarization of data, that is the processed data carrying a meaningful result. So when we process different kinds of data, collecting different types of data, and if we just process it and we find something meaningful, useful, so that becomes the information. And we know the information is a vital resource for the growth and success of any nation, be it teaching, education, politics, share markets, economic development, and so on. And in most of the time, we use the term data and information interchangeably. So sometimes we call it, it's a data, sometimes we call it information. So knowledge, we refer or talk about it in a very advanced stage. And if we are convinced, or if we become aware that the person or something is having most of the information. So let's see a table here. It says students' data, that is marks obtained by the individual student. So we can see in the first column serial number, in the second column name of the students like Diganto Bora, then Shilpi Kalita, Pallavi Shaikia, Pranav Sharma, Gautam Deka, like that. Then if we move to the second column, we can see the marks obtained by individual students, 350, 450, 410, like that. And what is the total mark? 500. I mean, that is the total mark for all the students. And if we see the percentage of marks that students have got, so we can see 70%, 90%, 82%, like that. So these are all data of individual students. Digandabara is a name, and the marks obtained is 350, and then total marks 500. And if we just process this data, and we can get the information like this. So this is the second table out of the table just I have shown to you, that is merit list of students. If we consider that there were only 5 seats for a particular department or for a particular course, so we'll be having the top 5 students like Pranav Sharma, who scored 480 out of 500, who secured 96%, so he is in the top. Then Silpi Kolita is in the second of the list. Rajiv Goswami is in the third of the list. Then Pallavi Shaikia, Pankaj Doimari. So these are the students who got sit because there were only 5 seats. So we process the information of admission data, and we got the final list of the students. So that is the information that we processed, the data, and finally we got the information. So when we move to from information to knowledge, so when we talk about knowledge, so there are different definitions. I'm just going to only highlight one definition obtained from Oxford English Dictionary. It says that knowledge is expertise and skills acquired by a person through experience or education, or we can say the theoretical or practical understanding of a subject. Then what is known in a particular field or in total, or maybe awareness or familiarity gained by experience of fact or situation. So there are lots of definitions, but finally what we can conclude is that from data, when we process, we move to the next stage, that we get the information. And when we again process the information and we collect different information and we come to a conclusion, so that can form knowledge. And while forming a knowledge, there should be always 2 parties. One is the knower and the other is the knowee. Knower and knowee. So knowee can be the human being. So that means when I'll be having a contact with something, it may be an abstract idea, it can be a concrete idea, or it can be anything. It can be individuals, it can be any items. When, as a knowee, when I come to contact with something, so it gets it forms knowledge. I mean, definitely it is the third stage when we move from data to information, and from information we move to knowledge. So from data to where we are moving. So we have got the data with us, while processing we get the information, then finally we come to the next stage, that is knowledge. And the final stage, that is the 4th stage, we get the wisdom. So now the point is, do we really understand what is the wisdom? So I'm very sorry, it is not a class on wisdom or something, but I wanted to just make it clear. Sometimes when we move from data to information, or we stop at knowledge only, and what is the wisdom part, that always is missed. After that, definitely I'll just moving to the main part of the discussion. But just I just wanted to give the differences between all these things, all these 4 stages. That's why I'm just bringing the slide in front of you. So wisdom means what is best, or doing the right thing. So that is the wisdom. So normally we don't talk about the wisdom. So that is the highest level of, I mean, the information or knowledge that we have acquired. So again, if we just see different definitions, so this definition gives me the actual idea about what does it mean. Wisdom It is the application of intelligence and experience toward the attainment of a common good. This attainment involves a balance among intrapersonal, that is one's own, then interpersonal, other people's, then extrapersonal, that is more than personal, such as institutional interest, over the short and long terms. That means wise people look out not just for themselves, but for all toward whom they have any responsibility. So it is important not just to what you know, but how you use what you know, whether you use it for good ends or bad. So that becomes the wisdom. So that becomes it makes a difference. It makes a sense what the wisdom is. So with this slide, I'm just going to conclude all this DIKW, pyramid, or you can say this is the four stages. We move from the data, information, knowledge, and wisdom. So, okay, I'm bringing some data here, like 4,000 compounds, 539 additives, carbon monoxide, lead, acetone, arsenic, acetic acid, ammonia, formaldehyde, cadmium, butane, tar material, all these are data. So, I mean, if I say only lead or 4,000 compounds, it doesn't carry any meaning. If we just process all, or if we just add something with this so that it becomes useful, it will be like this. This is like over 4,000 chemicals compounds are created when we smoke. Over 539 additives are used in the manufacturing of cigarettes. Carbon monoxide released in car exhaust fumes. The lead is used in batteries. Acetone is used in nail polish remover. Then arsenic in rat poison. Acetic acid, this is the ingredient in hair dye. Then ammonia, that is the household cleaner. Formaldehyde, which is also known as embalming food. Then cadmium, which is used in battery acid. Butane, this is the lighter fluid. Then tar material, which is used for paving the roads. So that means we have got the information now. The data that we had, after that we just, we have some meaningful information now. Data which is processed, we got the information here. Then if we see the next picture now, the picture says that these are the two different kinds of lungs. The first category, that is lungs of non-smoker. And if we go to the next image, we can see this is the lungs of smoker. So we can see the differences, how it affects the lungs if somebody smokes. So that also we understand. And we have the knowledge that smoking can cause lung cancer, and 443,000 people die from smoking or secondhand smoke each year. So that is a statistics or research report found out in Jewish countries. So in that country, a research was carried out, and that was the final outcome. Smoking can cause lung cancer, that is everybody knows. But the next point is 443,000 people die from smoking or secondhand smoke each year. That means we had data with us. Maybe that was an extensive study. What are the components in a cigarette? Then, and what are the chemicals which are used, and how this is for our health. And what type of lungs we can create after smoking cigarettes. So that is the knowledge that we have. That means we can process it. I mean, we just had the data with us, then we move to the information, and finally we have the conclusion. So that is the knowledge we have with us. Now, my question is, after that, the last stage, what is the wisdom? Just with that question and answer from you, I'll just stop it. I'll move to the next slide. So may I ask any of the participants who can give me the answer? So if that is the knowledge, that is the finding, that is the outcome of a study, that is in a country, the research was done, and 4,43,000 people die from smoking or secondhand smoke each year. So what should be the wisdom? Can anybody answer me, any of the participants?
We should not smoke.
Okay, may I know the name of this person? Actually, I'm not. I am unable to see your names here because I'm in full screen. So would you please name?
It's Manas this side, Manas Goswami.
Manas Goswami. You are from?
From Guwahati University.
Okay. Are you a student or research scholar or faculty?
I research scholar, but I just got enrolled.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, that's the point. So that is the wisdom. So what is that wisdom? Not smoking, because it can kill the person and it can kill others too. So that is the wisdom. When we just move from data to knowledge, I mean, we stop there. We never talk about the wisdom. So what is the base for me as well as for the others? So, I mean, we stop there and we never proceed after that. So that means after getting all the information, all the knowledge with us, if we can take a decision whether we should go for it or whether this is best for me or for the people around me. So taking a decision and doing only the best thing, so that is the wisdom. Normally we never go to wisdom level. Okay, yeah. I mean, this is not a generalization. I'm not saying that everybody is just like that, but there are people, and for me, in that particular case, I never spoke. Okay, so that is my personal habit. So this is not the part of the discussion, but anyway. Okay, let me move to the next slide, and which gives us something about the data and information. And we have already understood this. I'm not going to repeat all this. So data, yeah, some of the points that I would like to definitely mention. So collection of raw facts and figures. So these are the data. When we call data, so it is a raw facts and figures. And when we process, we get the information. Data, sometimes it's not so meaningful, but information, it always carries some meaning. Data is input and information is output. Then data used less frequently and information used very frequently. And okay, already I have explained one example. So that is like admission data from thousands of candidates. So that became the data. And when we process it and just create a merit list of those students, so it is again going to have the information. And if data is lost, it is very difficult to recollect. But in case of information, if it is lost, again we can use the stored data and we get the results, the information. And that is collected through different means and methods, maybe more observations, recordings, interviews. There are so many ways to get the data, and when again these are processed, we get the information. Again, one particular example: if we record the temperature of a particular day at 1 hour interval, then we call these as temperature data. And when we just come to a conclusion that 27 degrees centigrade is the minimum temperature of that particular day, and 30 degrees centigrade is the maximum temperature of that particular day, so it becomes the information. So I think we have understood the difference between the data and information. So now let's move to the second part of my discussions, that is role of data while doing a research study, types of secondary sources of data. As I have said, the data, information, knowledge, wisdom. Okay, we start with data. Whenever we want to make a research study, we need data. Without data, we cannot think of having a study or going to have a conclusion or final result. So the simple definition of research that I have got from Oxford English Dictionary, that is, research is a careful study of subject, especially in order to discover new facts or information about it. So that is the simplest definitions. Careful study of a subject, especially in order to discover new facts or information about it. And there are so many definitions. When we just Google, we get the definitions of research. And if you have the dictionaries with you, so I will get the meaning of it. So there is no point that we again understand. We should understand what is the meaning of research. So there are different definitions. Cambridge English Dictionary also gives us very good definition on research. Simple definition, but it gives us the basic meaning, what we need to understand. So what does research produce? We take up any study, we do research scholars start undertaking some research projects. What does it produce? So it basically produces two things. One is the new knowledge, or maybe it is a new interpretations of something which is already known. If it is a theory, if it is a theory on anything, so there may be some new interpretations, maybe using different variables, maybe using different techniques, different strategies. We may have different interpretations. Or sometimes we may have new knowledge, which was not at all there. So finally, the goal of having a research study is to get a new knowledge, either, or we may get a new interpretation. And there are different opinions. There are different experts who are giving us different stages of research process, different steps. If we talk about different types of research, like fundamental, applied research, and when we talk about historical research, descriptive or survey research, and when we talk about experimental research, all have got different stages, all have got different steps. But there are 5 basic steps. Whatever the topic is, whatever the things are, normally we find 5 basic steps. Somewhere, whenever somebody is taking a research study, they may find these 5 steps of research process. The first is, there should be a problem always. Without having a problem, we cannot start the research. There should be something which should come to our mind. It can be the individual, it can be a team of researchers, it can be the research organizations. They should have some problem. They should have some problem so that they can undertake a study and they can work on it, and finally they get some results, some findings. So that is a basic tip, and that step is always there in any kind of research. There should be always one problem. The second is research design. So that is one of the main parts of research process. How to make the research design. And most of the steps, sub-steps of research designs gives us the clear directions to move forward. If we want to, if we take up a problem and if we want to see the results, so the blueprint that we are going to make, it gives us, and that is given by us by research design only. So that is the step 2, and that is there in all different types of research studies. We have to have a research design. Very, very good research design we must have. Then comes the data collections. There may be different methods. There may be different techniques. So data collection will always be there, whether it is a historical research, whether it is experimental research, or whether this is survey research. So in each of the cases, we need to collect data. Then data analysis and interpretations. So after collection of the data, we need to do the analysis. And based on the analysis, we will have some interpretations. We will have some generalizations. So there is the 4th step. And the next step is the presentation of findings. Which form or format or to whom? So that will be decided later on. But the point is we must have all the stages. And based on the topic, based on the field of study, based on the subjects, we may have different sub-steps. We just move from one step to the last step. And finally, the result is to get a knowledge or maybe new interpretations on the previous knowledge that we have already got. So already I have told you that out of all these 5 steps, the research design is the most important step. So this is the researcher's overall plan for answering the research questions or testing the research hypothesis. We may have hypothesis, we may have research questions, we may have objectives. So the research design gives us the overall plan. So the subject or investigation is the core in deciding all the elements of the research design. A research design includes the structure of the study and the strategies for conducting the study. So, and what are the elements? Maybe the first element will be the approach. It can be the qualitative approach, which is expressed through words or the terms, and it can be quantitative approach, which is explained with some quantities, some numbers. And sometimes we may have both qualitative as well as quantitative. And we can add these with some conceptual framework on the topic, on the theme. So the next element is research methods, objectives, samples, etc. That means in research design, we have to define whether we'll be going to have a survey kind of research, experimental or historical. So what kind of reviews we're going to make, what kind of literature we're going to take, for which period, then what will be the objectives of my research, what will be the hypothesis, all those things will be covered here. So that will be again decided while making the research design. So the next is data collection. The tools, we can use questionnaire, we can use observation, we can use interviews for collecting primary data. And if we are collecting the secondary data, there are also different ways, different methods. Then if we talk about the next element, there is the methods of data analysis. So whether we're going to use only percentage method, then average, and what are the softwares we are going to use, and how we are going to test the hypothesis. So that becomes the next element. And the final element may be the presentation's results. So do we need to present it in a printed form or non-printed form? Or what will be the graphical representations of the content of the report? What should be the typography? What will be the different parts of it? So all will be decided. That means the research design takes the, maximum part of whole research process. So this is the blueprint only to conduct the research. That means research design is nothing but a blueprint to conduct a research study, which confirms beforehand the research approaches, the variables under study, population and sampling design, all those things that we have already discussed. Now, let's come to the next part, that is data collection. So we know what is data and what is the importance of data, and when we want the data that we understand. Now, what is the data collection? Data collection is defined as the procedure of collecting, measuring, and analyzing accurate insights of research using standard validated techniques. That means the techniques we are going to use, that should be standardized, that should be validated. We cannot just collect data randomly. There should be some standard. So data collection is a process of collecting information from all the relevant sources to find answers to the research problem. Because we are having a problem, that means we have undertaken a research study. So what we want, that our data collection should be from relevant sources only. That should not be irrelevant one. We want only relevant sources so that we get the accurate data. And this data will be used for testing the hypothesis or to evaluate the outcomes also. So data collection is very much important to find the answers to the research questions or research problem. So it plays a crucial role in the study and statistical analysis. So we may find two different types of data, primary data, or it can be the secondary data. So before collecting the data, we must consider some of the factors. We must understand what are the aims and objectives of the research. If I have undertaken one research study, so if I define the aims and objectives of the research, so I must look into my objectives and I should start collecting data. So that is one of the main factors to consider. Then type of data that I am going to collect. Is it qualitative? It is quantitative? Is it primary? Is it secondary? So that I must define. Then the methods and procedures you will use to store and process the data. So where I'll store the data and in which form and how to process data. Will I use some softwares, some technology to process the data? So all different softwares have different processing styles. So what type of information, what type of data the system, the software requires, that we must understand. If one sort of software wants only quantitative data, we cannot put the qualitative data in explaining with some terms or words. We need to put only the numbers, numerals. Then only we can process it, and finally we get the results. So there can be primary data as well as secondary data. If I want to just make a meaning out of it, what is the primary data and secondary data? We must understand that the primary data, which is collected for the first time by the researcher, and while secondary data is the data already collected or produced by others. So we'll see the differences between primary data and secondary data. Let's see what are the different methods of data collection. So for collecting primary data and for collecting secondary data, there are different methods. So for primary data collection, we can make use of observation, which can be participatory or participant or non-participant, participant or participatory. We can make use of interview, structured or unstructured. We can make use of questionnaire. We can make use of the online method of collecting data. And I have seen in the previous discussion, I was there for some time while Professor Jaideep Burwa sir was explaining. So he explained all different methods of collecting primary data. So I'm not going to repeat all those points. So I'm coming to my part, that is secondary data collections. There may be different sources. So I am going to discuss this in my later part of my discussion. And you have already listened to Jaideep sir's lectures, and you have come to know what are the different sampling methods, probability sampling methods and non-probability sampling methods. And he explained, he gave some replies to some of the queries also. So he beautifully explained that. Just I'd like to show you this table, the differences between primary data and secondary data. If we see only the meaning of both of these, primary data, that is, which refers to the first-hand data gathered by the researcher himself or the agencies. It can be government agencies or it can be the non-government agencies. Then secondary data, that means data collected by someone else earlier or some organizations earlier. I mean, this is, secondary data is the past data. Primary data is real-time data, which we have got just now, which we have got after making a survey, after making some experience. That is a real-time data. And normally the secondary data are past data, old data. Then what type of process involved? In primary data collections, involvement is needed. The person, the individual, the researcher needs to be involved to collecting the primary data. And in case of secondary data, it is quick and easy because this is readily available. We get the secondary data from different sources. And source, again, if we talk about, we need to make some surveys or observations or experiments, then only we can expect the primary data. And secondary data, we can see this in some government publications, website, books, journal articles, etc. And if we talk about the cost effectiveness, while collecting the primary data, we need to spend some money. That is, it becomes expensive. But in case of secondary data, it is economical because this is available. If we want some secondary data, we just, if we know that in a particular source, the information, the secondary data is available, we can visit the site, access different resources uploaded in that particular site. We can download it, we can store it, and we can use it for our own research purpose. So it becomes economical. While collecting, while discussing the collection time, for collecting the primary data, it requires time. It's not that instantly we want to get some primary data, it is available. It's not like that. Normally, we must have to wait for some time to get the primary data. And in case of secondary data, we must, we must not have to wait for a long time. It is available in some sources, but the point is whether we know the particular source of that data from where we need to collect it. We need to understand the sources, different types of sources, online or offline, different databases where from we are going to collect the secondary data. While talking about the specificity of the data, primary data is always specific to the researcher's needs. That means what is my need? That is very specific. So I'll get the information which is very specific, which is very for me. And that's why it's very specific. But in case of the secondary data, it may not be the specific for me because that study was done by somebody else, some other organizations, some other agencies. So that cannot be the specific information or data for me to conduct my study. So in case of primary data, it is very, very specific. And available in crude form, data that we get, the primary data that we get, these are all in raw form, crude form. We need to process it. In secondary data, normally we get the refined form of data, refined form, processed form. Okay, so one analysis part has already been done by somebody else. That type of data we can collect from secondary source. Then regarding accuracy and reliability, in case of primary data is more reliable and more accurate. And in case of secondary data, this is relatively less accurate. We cannot rely on all the data. That's why relatively less. So these are the basic differences of primary and secondary data. So whatever the secondary source of data is, because my discussion is on secondary data, so I'm coming to my point of discussion. Because we are going to collect secondary data from different sources, the approaches may be of two kinds. That is one qualitative and the other is quantitative. In case of qualitative data that we are going to collect or we are going to have, these were written by some other people, other agencies, organizations, and expressed in words such as personal diaries, letters, emails, photographs. So that could have been expressed in words. It gives us qualitative approach. And when we talk about some numbers, like the population, crime rates, so all these type 2 or quantitative data are gathered by some government organizations, maybe some researchers, and expressed in numbers. So one is qualitative, the other is quantitative. So in case of quantitative, when we try to answer the questions such as who, by using who, or when it was done, when it was established, when it was set, then what and where. So if we have this type of questions, we normally get the quantitative data: who, when, what, and where. And if we just ask why and how by using this two questions, so normally we get the qualitative data. And sometimes the sources that we're collecting the information, secondary data, sometimes it overlaps. In a particular source, we may get the qualitative data as well as we can expect the quantitative data also. So when to use the secondary data? Secondary data collection methods are most appropriately used when the researcher is exploring a topic which already has extensive information and data available and is looking for supplementary insights or introducing new concepts or interpretations. So when it is normally used, when the researcher is exploring a topic which is already has extensive information. Let us see an example. So as the corona vaccination is going on, in all parts of the world, across the country or across the world. So the medical reports on studies on corona vaccine could be used to draw new interpretations on existing medical theories. There may be lots of medical theories on coronavirus or vaccines if there was anything. So if we want to see the reports of different medical studies conducted in different organizations, institutions, and by doctors or scientists, we can use those data for our own study. So it may not be possible for me as an individual or you as individual or any small organizations or maybe for a particular country to gather data of the people around the world. So during that time, it helps us to collect data from the sources, from the secondary sources, and make use of this data for our own study. So it has got some advantages as well as disadvantages also. Already I have discussed some of the points here, but we need to understand 3 basic points for collecting information, secondary data from secondary sources. So it is easier to collect than credibility. If collected from reputable sources, secondary data can be trusted as accurate and of required quality. So already I have told you, so it's not possible or feasible to make a survey of whole population and gather data. There are some government organizations, they are having some studies, and they are putting their records in some sources, and from those sources, if we can understand what are those sources, we can collect information and we can make use of it. So sometimes it is more we can find a more credibility in the secondary data. Without that, we cannot start our study. And this is less expensive also. We don't have to, if we have to do an extensive study, just a second, please. Sorry. Okay. And of course, it's not that always we find the advantages. We may find the disadvantages also of collecting secondary data or visiting to the secondary sources and getting the secondary data for our own purpose. And the main disadvantage is it differs the context. Secondary data collected will not necessarily align with the researcher's objectives or research questions. So maybe I can use some of the parts of the whole study and I can use it. So that becomes more convenient for us. Limiting the availability, limited availability, the amount and detail of secondary data available for a particular research topic is varied and not dependable. And it is always beyond our control. Sometimes we fail to control how this was collected, and because I did not make the study, somebody else did it. So as secondary data is originally collected externally, and there may be some other persons who collected that. So we have less control over the secondary data. Okay, now let's see the sources of secondary data. It can be online, it can be offline. So always, so because this is the age of technology. When we talk about something offline, always we need to think about the online sources also. So whenever we make a discussion on some sources, so there will be always two parts, online or offline. So that should be there always. So after that, we need to have the idea where from we will be collecting the information, whether this is from my own organization, which is quite internal, or is it from the external sources outside my organization. If it is internal, so what are the different sources, data that I can collect? So in an organization, what type of data or sources we can expect? We can expect the committee reports. We can expect the annual reports. We can expect the profiles. And we can find the financial statements also. We can see the accounts. We can see the invoices. Then if it is an educational institutions, we can expect the brochures, the prospectus, which are the organization's own collection. They are producing the information or data for their own purpose. That is quite internal. Then employees' data or the users. If I am working in a library, maybe the users' data will be the internal information of my organization, of my university. So internal, which is inside the organizations, or we can go beyond our organizations. We can move to the outside world and we can collect information. And again, there will be published or unpublished sources. So out of the published sources, books, journals, or reports are the main source of information, secondary data. Books, journals, reports, etc. And nowadays, as we are in a world where without internet or web resources, we cannot think of anything. Normally, what we normally do, we go to the web resources. First, we start searching on any aspect, on any topic, or any subject. We start downloading it and we save it in our system. And nowadays, the publication houses also, they are trying to introduce or publish their intellectual outputs in digital form. So nowadays, that has become the main part of information available, main part of making the data available. The research scholars who are working under different organizations, they can go for definitely their internal resources if their research study is related to the organizations, and they have to visit the other sources to find out the data available or relevant for their studies. It may not be exactly the same data that he or she is expecting, but some of the data, some of the tables, some of the figures will be definitely helpful for making the study. And in some cases, they have to move outside. There are government and research agencies, they have got their own publications. So this is under published documents. Then if it is unpublished, there are some research agencies, there are some scholars who did not publish their research findings, but they have got sufficient data with them, so that can be unpublished. So I have got some other examples also I'll be discussing in the later slides. But we need to understand what kind of sources of secondary data available. It can be internal or it can be external. So yeah, I have the website links in my later slides. Maybe some of the things that I have discussed already I have told you. Reports of committees and commissions, then government or semi-government publications. There are some international bodies like UNESCO, IFLA, UNDP. They are producing huge data, secondary data. If we know how to collect it, if we know how to, download it or save it in our system, we can make use of all this data and we can make our research studies easier. The newspapers, magazines, other periodicals or journals, definitely they will help us. Again, we can see some of the data that we're collecting. Some are proprietary data and some are open data. Proprietary data means you need to pay something to get the data. There are some private organizations, maybe some government organizations are also there. If you want to get some information, you need to have the permission, or you need to pay some amount, then only you will get the data. That is commercial. And there's some open data which is freely available. You can use it, you can republish it without any restrictions. So commercial data or proprietary data or open data, again we can have that type of type of published data. Already some limitations already I have discussed. I don't want to go into detailed discussions on it. So one of the important precautions we need to take while using secondary data. Before going to the most important, first we need to ensure that the data is suitable to the purpose of research in hand. That means, so I am doing a research. I have some objectives. I have some aims and purposes. So looking into it only, I need to go for collecting secondary data. So we need to ensure that the data is suitable to the purpose of research in hand. The second point is ensure that the data is adequate for the requirement. And the next point is we need to check the degree of accuracy of data. And basically the government organizations, they're collecting the accurate data, so we can depend on that in most of the cases. Ensure that the time and period of data collection is relevant. We need to see the period also, the duration for which period the data is relevant. Sometimes the secondary data, it gets obsolete when the time passes by. We cannot depend on the old data and have new interpretations on it. Ensure that the data is consistent and comparable. The most important point, that is, use proper citations in the case of proprietary data. When it is said that you are collecting some commercial data or from some organizations where it is said that it is copyrighted data or information or the image, whatever you take, you need to give the proper citation. So that is a must. So without doing that, if you just move and just publish the other people data, other agencies data, so we may be caught, and sometimes we may face lots of trouble. It's better to always give a proper citation. If we collect the secondary data from some commercial sites, or it's better to cite everything whatever we take from secondary sources, whether it is copyright free or it is copyrighted, it's better to always give the citations with full bibliographic details, author's name, the title, the publisher, the place of publication, year of publication, then which volume or from which website it has been collected. All metadata, all bibliographic information should be properly cited, properly mentioned. Okay, let me move to the next slide. This is all about when and how to collect secondary data, how to insert citations of secondary sources in the research report. So I have collected some sources, some websites. Already I have told you the sources that we have. If it is internal, we'll definitely collect it from our own organizations, and if it is external, we'll move beyond our organizations. We'll search different sources and we'll collect it and we'll use it for our own purpose. And definitely we are going to give the proper citations of each of the sources that we have explored. Nowadays, most of the libraries are automated. If we want to see a particular book or a journal in our respective library, we can use OPAC, or we can search their database. OPAC is OPAC, Online Public Access Catalog. And we can use the OPAC service to get the information about the availability of a particular book or a journal, or a maybe if it is in and if it is an audio clip, or if it is a video clip or animation. So we can check the information, search the information about the collection of a particular library, that is in-house collection. And if our library is having a connection with different e-consortia, e-consortia means there are some agencies who are collecting different online journals, e-journals, e-books, and putting into a single platform and giving permission to the members of the consortium to access the database to gather the information and study it or use it, or I mean, whenever they feel necessary, they can put it in their citations. I mean, they want, if a researcher wants to know whether the collections available in a particular, they can move to their own library database, search, and get the results. And if it is a printed book available in a particular library, so they will get the location where it is available. They can search the book, or they can move to the stack and find out the particular book and get the data. Okay, finally, what we understand that we can collect the data from our own resources. That is very, very possible. But whether we understand what are the other sources of secondary data. So I have collected some of the list. I mean, some of the websites where from we can collect the secondary data. This is one, that is data.gov. This website can give us data of the studies made by the government agencies. And this is a platform for supporting open data initiative of Government of India. So the portal is intended to be used by Government of India, ministries and departments, their organizations to publish datasets, document services, tools and applications collected by them for public use. So we can use the data from this particular site. So the website address is data.gov.in. This is government data. We can use it, and we can expect that the information, the data we will get from this particular source will be reliable. This is another source that I would like to mention over here. That is the Census of India. Ministry of Home Affairs. They are collecting the information about the populations of India. So the Census Digital Library, you'll get a link to different tables or studies or reports made by them. You can see the tabs here, their publications, tables, photos, maps, audio, video. So from these also we can collect the secondary data. Again here, the point is we must mention the source where from we have collected it. So I'll definitely give you some practical tips or examples how to put the citations of the website also, if we have time. So we can see different tables published in particular website. So this is another website of Government India, Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. Here also we can find different statistical data. That is another website. So the name of the website is, the address of the website is mospi.nic.in. So that is Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. If we want to see different programs which have been implemented in India, we can see in this particular website. So here there is an archive, that means download reports. If you go there, you will find download reports. You'll find different reports over here. So there is a search box. If you put the topic that you want, so I must mention that while visiting this website, so you have to keep in mind that your study is related to something which is where you'll get some data which will be implemented, which will be used for your study. That means there should be some relevancy. If somebody is doing some research, maybe historical research, or maybe regarding the population, definitely you will go and see the Census of India site. And if you want to see the programs which have been implemented, so you can see here what are the reports which have been included. So based on it, that means there should be a right match between your requirement and the source of information you are going to collect. So there should be a right match. Then only you'll be able to use the information and get the results. The Niti Aayog. So the website address is niti.gov.in. So this is also one of the most important websites to collect the statistical data or secondary data to use in your studies. So there is a link, you can see there is a publication. From here you can download the reports. The statistical information you can obtain from this particular site. That is Niti Aayog. So Department of Economic Affairs, they are also publishing some statistical data. If you want to see the public finance statistics, central government borrowings, for the economic students or the research scholars who are doing some research studies on economics or different aspects of economics, so they must visit this particular website. They will get lots of secondary data. They can use the data and make their studies easier. And then this is the site of Reserve Bank of India. Here also we can expect some statistical data. We can see the publications also. Here there is a link, so we can use some money related, or you can see here whether the monetary policy, and then regulations, financial markets, the financial inclusion and development, consumer education and protections, all those things you will find in this particular website. So that already I have discussed, Ministry of Statistics and program implementation. So this is one, again, a different website, Directorate of Economics and Statistics. So you can understand that different ministries, different directorates, different committees, government committees or commissions, they are having their websites and they're publishing relevant data of their own subject, of their own areas. So we must explore those websites and find out what is relevant for my own study. The UNDP, this is international website where from we can collect some data. UNDP.org is the website address. Okay, this is for the research scholars who are working in a subject related to higher educations, colleges like medical colleges, law colleges, IIMs, engineering colleges, dental colleges. So this website gives us the statistics of the universities, colleges, etc. I mean, higher educational institutions. NIRF, India.org. This is one of the best websites that we can see for our research purpose. And if I just want to add one information that you can, if you visit this website, if you click on universities which have been ranked by NRF, this is under Ministry of Education, and in Assam, there are only 3 universities which have been ranked by NIRF. I mean, within 100. I mean, top 100 universities in India, if we see, if we find only 3 universities in Assam. First one is Dept University. Its rank is maybe 37 or 39. Then we can see the second is Guwahati University. Third is Dept University. Assam University, my university is not within 100. Okay, so we can see the colleges also. I think none of the colleges in Assam is ranked by NIRF because it has got some preconditions like at least 500 research publications indexed in Web of Science or Scopus for a period of 3 years, or at least 1,000 students enrolled in PhD program. Then only they're eligible to apply for NIRF ranking. So none of the colleges in Assam I have seen in the, I didn't find any name. And in India, the colleges, Mirinda House is at the top in the list. So if we want to have that kind of information, we must visit this website. Okay, so they are publishing, Ministry of Education, Government of Assam, they are publishing their statistics. If we want to see the statistics, we can just we have to visit the site and just get the information, get the secondary data. The website address is www.education.gov.in. You can see the statistics tab here. Just visit the site, see what are the statistical information, the results, the tables and graphs you'll find here. That can help the students who are doing some studies on education, higher education's schools or colleges also, they have got published information. I have seen one table here. You can also see on the slide that is major reasons for dropout. Children who drop out from the schools. And what is the percentage of male and female? The serial number is child not interested in studies. That is number one reason, which is in the top of the list. Child not interested in studies. That is one of the reasons for dropout. And the male students, their perception is 23.8%. So that is the percentage. That means male drop out more than the girls, the female students. This is one of the important information then we can make use for any of the studies related to this type of topic. Then maybe the financial constraints, that is 23.7% among the males. And among the females, this is 15.20%. And engage in domestic activities. So that is also one of the reasons. On the the highest percentage amongst the male is 31.00%. That is engage in economic activities. That is highest among male. And among females, you can see 29.70. That is engage in domestic activities. Both are different. The male, they have got different reason to drop out, and for the females, the case is something different. And there are some other reasons also. And this table or this data, secondary data, can be very much useful for the research scholars who are working on this type of topics. And you will understand what is the source. So the source is, you can see here, this is a website that just I showed you, Ministry of Education. If you visit that website, and if you move to the statistics, which is a tab, which is a link there, and under the statistics, you can find the educational statistics at a glance. So that is the serial number 1. So that is the report which will give you on page number, maybe page number 107 page number. In this particular report, you will find this table, and that can be very, very helpful. And there is a secondary data. Already the government has done this. So based on the report, we can just have some different topics and we can start doing our own research. And we have to see what is so we have to see what is my purpose of research, what is my objective, what is my field of studies. We have to consider these aspects, these factors, and if it is very much relevant to my study, so definitely we have to make use of this particular table. So we can make a similar kind of studies in a state like Assam, in a state like a particular district. And this is a data across the country. So that has already been done. And whether this is equally true in a state like Assam, or state like Meghalaya, or state like West Bengal, so we can have different kind of results. You may not find the exactly same kind of results in a respective state. What are the differences in a state and the nation as a whole? So we can make use of it. So there are lots of reports. We need to just download it and use it for our own purpose. Huge reports, huge number of reports you can see here. Statistics of school education, educational statistics at a glance, then results of secondary and higher secondary examinations. On that also they have put some statistical data. Then selected information on school education. Then status of international students in India for higher education. So that can be that could be a topic for a study also. If somebody has undertaken that type of study, what are the international students, or what is the percentage of international students who have enrolled in India for higher education? So we must use this particular secondary data. Yeah. So analysis is very common for all the colleges. They can access to the resources, 6,000 plus journals, then 6 lakhs, 1,99,500 plus ebooks. And I think this is 6 lakhs plus e-materials. It could be anything. All are in digital form. So we can access to all those resources if we have the membership of Enlist. I think Bhavana College is also having the membership of this particular program, Enlist program. So they can make use of the resources available in this particular platform. We can download the ebooks, we can download the e-journals, the articles which are relevant for our study, and we can use it. But we need to give the proper citation. This is one. Then we can see the source window also. That is also one of the tabs or the link which has been provided in ImpleMnet website. The previous website that is the consortium developed by ImpleMnet. I think everybody is aware about it, so I don't have to explain what is ImpleMnet. So that is one of the important sources, information and library networks. Then Shudh Gangotri. So that is a repository of Indian research in progress. If I mean many of you, because you have attended this program, so I assume that many of you are doing or you have undertaken the research studies, and if you want to see the research progress on different subjects in India or in Indian universities, you can see this website. So you'll be able to find the topics which have already been studied. Then let's move to Scopus. That is also one database that you can search for the electronic journal articles, the reports. You can search through the sources. You can make a search with the author's name. There are different options to make a search, and you will get the information. This is one of the best resources available for the subscribed or member institutions. Normally, individual members, they are not, they cannot access to all the resources. If the institution is having the membership of the Scopus database, they can access to different resources and they can use the secondary data. Then Web of Science, this is another website, a big database where from you will get again the e-journals, the storehouse of digital resources. And these are very common, and I think everybody knows about the whole Web of Science. This is also one of the important websites which is freely available. The websites or the databases just I have discussed, that is Scopus, Web of Science, you need to have the membership. Then only you can access to all the digital resources. You can download it, otherwise it's not possible. But those, that is directory of open access journals. I think all the research scholars who are attending the program today, they must visit this website. Directory of open access journals. So here you can find thousands of journals. You can see the list. 80 languages you will find, 126 countries represented, 11,796 journals without APCs, Then 16,463 journals. And what are the article records? That is 66 lakhs. So you can understand how big this database is, and all are freely available. You don't have to even log in also. Just search for any field. You can put the journal name if you know, and you can put the article also if you know any of the articles, or you can search randomly. You just put the field of interest that you want. So, and then click on search. The site will give you the list of all the articles on that particular fields and the name of the journals where these particular articles are available. So, Directory of Open Access Journals, that is the website address is DOAJ, that is ORG, DOAJ.org. So, that is the website address. You must explore this website. Then you can see the National Digital Library of India. There's a huge collection also they are having for the schools, for the engineering students, for the science students, humanities. They have got different categories. And you can see scholarly publications, data sets, documents and video, journals and conferences. All are freely accessible. This is the National Digital Library of India. This is managed by IIT Kharagpur. You can see the logo at the top right corner. So this is managed by Indian Institute of Technology, Kharagpur. This is a library database. So this is Project Gutenberg for collecting secondary data. This is also one of the important websites that you must explore. It's a library of 60,000 free ebooks. Okay, 60,000 plus ebooks. So Project Gutenberg, you can visit this site also. Then World Digital Library, that is also a website which gives you the digital collection. They're also having a huge collection. You can visit. And our website address is www.wdl.org. .org. Then art collection, science fiction, fantasy, so all different collections you may get. Okay. Then Internet Archive, the same only. So this is a commercial website where people can search for some statistical data. We need to subscribe it, then only we'll get the information. Otherwise not. So they have the subscription fees. Because this is a private organization. Okay, with this I have completed my 3 parts of the discussion. So I'm moving to the next part. That is how to cite a reference in a report. So we are moving to that particular part now, and that will be a practical session. So maybe I'll be doing in my own system, and I'll request the participants who are having the laptop and who have made things available as per the instructions or the request made by the organizing committee. So if you have done that, so we'll be able to make some practical experiments or use the techniques. So I'm moving to that part now. And tools may be automatic or it can be manual. Manual method of citing a particular citation or reference is very troublesome. Troublesome in a sense, you have to type everything manually. Each and every letter you need to type. Then you need to understand the rules the standard, how to write the author's name, whether all the author's name, the letters should be all in capital letters, or should it be in italics, how to put the year of publication within bracket, or we can make it free, or should it be just after the author's name or at the last, whether we should give the place of publication or year of publication, the publisher's name, whether we should give the edition statement. So all things are decided by the standards, the citation styles. Manually, if we want to do it, it takes time and is very troublesome. And because we have the technology, we understand how to make use of the softwares. I think we don't have to go for doing all these things manually. We need to take help of the softwares. So my next thing will be like this. I think you have got the Word file with you. So may I just okay, before that, just let me show you what are the online and offline tools. If you have installed the MS Word or MS Office, MS Word, one of the applications of MS Office, if you have installed MS Office, so you'll have MS Word, and you can do it very easily. That can be the offline mode of inserting the bibliography or giving the proper citations of the resources that you have used. The MS Word is one of the base tools, softwares that you can give citations automatically. It can be offline, and you can use offline also, but we don't have to go to subscribe the online mode of MS Word or else. So if you have installed, if you have MS Office, it's fine. So you can do it very easily. You don't have to type each and every letter manually, or you could do it also. So it has got some standards. You don't have to remember the rules. The system will make the citations for you. Whatever the format, whatever the style you want. You want APA style, that is American Psychological Association, or if you want MLA style, or if you want Chicago style, Harvard style, IEEE style, Turabian style. So any of the styles you can choose, and you will get instant references. You don't have to remember the rules for citation. And there are some online tools that is Cite to Write. So that is one. This is developed by Queen's University, Belfast. So if you just visit this website, you will get it. Okay, it's very easy. If you just choose what kind of resource you want to cite, it can be book, it can be electronic book, it can be chapter from book, it can be journal article, it can be e-journal article, website. So just you need to choose first the type of the source. Then you'll find some fields, blank fields, and you need to put the fill up the fields. And if you just click once, you'll get a citation. So you don't need to remember the style, how to make it. So that is one website, Queen's University, Belfast. Then Scriber. This is another website where you can get online citation platform. So here also you need to choose first the type of the source, book or journal article. Then you just put the information, it will give you the citation style. Then site form, that is also another where from you will get the similar kind of results. I mean, all the citation styles are giving the citations without understanding the rules. Just you need to choose the format that you want, the style you want. The things are very easy. Then citation machine is also one. Here you can follow the rules, the instructions which are available in the site itself. You can check the plagiarism or grammar also, And there is some priced or subscribe process, and sometimes it is free. So Zotero is one of the important or popular website or the software by using which you can generate your suggestions. You can install it into your system, and you can add the software in your browser also. You can save Zotero if you're using Chrome, Google Chrome, so we can add the plugin into the browser, and you can get the suggestions very easily. So now I'm going to Mendeley. So my practical will be on this only. I have only 15 minutes time to finish it, so let me try with that. And about Mendeley, I don't think that I need to again discuss it. So this is a reference manager, free reference manager. You can download it, install it, and you can use it to create the suggestions. So if you do it practically, I think it will be better to understand it. And there are 4 methods of adding the citations. I'll try to explain one by one. Drag and drop is one web importer, then directly from the article, and then Google Scholar. So, okay, so I'll just try to tell you what are these 4 methods to add the citations. So I am now minimizing. Just let me ask the participants. So is it okay if I move to Mendeley and give you some practical applications, how to do it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Dhruva Jyoti Buragohai?
Yes, sir.
Toby Kunar, okay, then Robin Irakui. Oh, you have not installed it. Okay, Tonosri, you have not installed. Okay, so
They had no, sir, was when you asked about the screen sharing, that time they have replied, no, sir.
okay. Okay, fine, no problem. So okay, let me show you how easy this is. Okay. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is, for example, so everyone, any of the participants, Dhruvo, can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Visible, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's visible. Fine. So you can see a graph, you can say dissertation or thesis, whatever it is. So there are, for example, 57 pages. 57 pages, and you can see there are no table. Okay, there are no bibliography at the last. So I think I don't have to tell you that what is the importance of a proper sedition. Everybody understands it. If we have collected something, some resources, some articles from other sources, we need to properly cite it. Okay, in my paper, if it is a research paper which is going to be published or sent to a conference or maybe to a journal, and they will have some recommendations that you must follow APA citation styles, or you must follow some other standard styles like IEEE, MLA, Chicago, Harvard. There are different citation styles, and if we just fail to cite the citations properly, maybe our paper will be rejected, or our thesis all may also be rejected. So proper citation is very, very important. So in my the whole discussions, I want to just give you the idea of what is data. Then I came to primary data and secondary data. Then I moved to secondary data. Again, what are the different sources where we can collect the secondary data? And I have given you some web search links and some databases where from you can download the paper and you can use some content. And you must cite it. Whatever the source that you are explored, you have access, you must cite the reference here. So here, what I'm going to do, here you will not find any bibliography. Here you will not find any bibliography. But in one click only I can create the bibliography here. So you can see the references. At the top of the menu bar, you'll find the tab references. Okay. Something already I have done here. So if I just click bibliography, you can see the tabs here. This is the Mendeley plugin that I have installed that I'll discuss later on. So first of all, I'd like to discuss this particular tab that is available in your Word file. What is that? Citations and bibliography. If you click on references, that is the first step. Then second step is that manage sources. That is one. Again, you need to check which format you want. That is title, style, APA style. There are some default styles you may find here, like APA 5th edition, Chicago. I'm using MS Word 10, so you may find the less options here. The Chicago style, you'll find the MLS style or Turabian style. So these are the styles, and there are different styles. So you can choose any of the styles that you want to see the bibliography in which format you want. So now the first point is and there will be the in-text citation also. For example, I'm just choosing the last part. Here I want to give, for example, this is this particular paragraph. I have taken it from a source, and that source is from a book. Okay, from a book that is written by me. So I'm giving one simplest example here. So what I'll do, I put the cursor over there. You can see it's blinking at the last of the paragraph. So I'll click insert citation now, then add a source. So here you will get a list of all citations. You may not find it in your system because I have inserted some citations. That's why there is a big list. Add a new source. Add a new source. So click here. Now one window will pop up. In this particular window, you need to type the source first. Book, or you want book section, or it is the reference that I am going to insert here. Is it the journal article? Is it article in a periodical? It is conference proceeding report. You have to choose the source of the data or the article. I mean, which source you want to? What is the type of the source? If it is a book, let's select book first. So now the type of the source is book. Now who is the author? For example, I am the author. Okay. So if you just put your cursor in this particular field, you will find the example how to write the field, how to put the information. So that means the surname should be first. So my name, let me write. Let me write a different name. Maybe my name is there, Chanda, Chanda, okay? Chanda, Chanda Anupam. Let me write this name here. Then if I write the title, for example, RFID applications in libraries, okay? So if that is the title of the book and which where it was published, for example, it was published in 2008, then from where it was published in New Delhi, and okay, Anupam Chanda, New Delhi. Then publisher, with the publisher, for example, SS Publication, SS Publications. Then fine. So these are the fields, and if we want to add more fields, that we can do that. So what you'll do, you just click here, show all bibliography fields. So if I click here, there will be more fields available in the window. So if I click here, you can see now fields are more. So what I can add here, I can add the country, like if I wish, I put the India here. And if there is any editor, we can put the editor's name. And if it is a volume of a particular series, that we can do that. What is the number of volume we can give it. If there is any short title, that we can put here. Standard number, if there is any ISBN number, we can give pages edition. Let me give first edition here. Only these two fields I have added here. One is country, one is this. And other fields are already I have done here. Now this is the book. Who is the author? Anupam Chanda. What is the title? RFID applications in libraries. Then 2018 is the year of publications. So I have put all the information now. Now I have to click on OK. If I click, you'll find there will be a change in my text file. So I'll just click OK. So you can see Chanda, the surname it has taken, and 2018 is the year of publications. This has automatically done. And if I make any mistake, you can see here there is a drop-down menu. If you click the edit suggestions, for example, this should not be 2018, so I can make the corrections. Where is the source? Edit the source. Okay, it should be 2019 only. Okay, I can make any corrections. If there is any spelling mistake, you can do it. Okay, so that is there. Anupam Chanda I have included in my list of bibliography. So bibliography always is at the last of the report or article, whatever it is. If it is book also, we always insert the bibliography at the last part of it. So now what I'll do, I want that particular suggestion should be here in the list of references. Anupam Chanda, RFID applications in libraries. So only one click I'll put, and I'll get the bibliography here. And similarly, as you have seen Chanda here, in the similar way, I have made lots of references. You can see. Let me move to some other pages, so I can show you. Some of the suggestions that I have already made. Similar way, it may be the journal article, it may be the book, it can be the website. So here you can see now, in page number 24, what I have done: join, comma, core, comma, that should be full stop only, and bubble. You can see the similar way I have done somewhere else also. So let me see where are these suggestions, where from I have collected the secondary data. If we move to other pages, so let me show you where are these. Okay, one more I need to find. There are lots of, already I have done this. I want to see the bibliography now. Okay, so yeah, this one also. This is Asi Kujaman 2018. Okay, so I want to see the bibliography now. I mean, the same process I need to follow for multiple times. I mean, as many as the suggestions that we have, we need to do it individually. After doing it, you will see the bibliography now. So let me make a blank page here. Now you go and insert the bibliography. This is blank now. I want to show you the Anupam Chanda's reference, the suggestion. Let me click insert bibliography. Sorry, wait. This one, where I want, I want the bibliography here at the last page. So here I want the references. 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 Okay. Here I want. So I need to only insert the bibliography, and that should be in APA style. Okay. It is asking which design you want. This is, let me choose the first one only. Okay. Yeah, you can see the bibliography. You can see the bibliography now. So I have told you already, I did it for different types of reference sources. So this is the bibliography which has automatically been generated. So let me check now Anupam Chanda, whether his name has already been done here or not. Has it been added or not? You can see Anupam Chanda. This particular book has been added right now, just now. Chanda A 2019 RFID Applications in Library. That has become italic. Italics, you don't have to do anything here. It has followed the rules and regulations of IPA style. The New Delhi is the publications. You don't have to remember where to put the New Delhi. Then India, then SS publications. So all information it has collected from that source that we have done it. Okay, now this was according to, you can see the other references also, what already I did it. And finally, I have got the list of all suggestions, including the new one, which have just included. Okay, so similarly, if it is a book, so you have understood how to do it. If it is a journal article, there are different options, different fields. You have to just fill up the options. That's it. It's very simple. And you'll get the bibliography automatically. So what we did, let me repeat the process again. So we entered the source by clicking insert citation here, then add new source here. Then we selected the book type, and if it is a journal article, that also we can do. If we click journal article, you'll find different fields here, the title, journal name, ER, pages, etc. So there will be different fields for journal. It's very simple to understand. So you just fill it up. Once it is done, but it's done forever. Then I went to select the style, which style you want. Then after that, I just clicked here, bibliography, and I finally got the list of bibliography, because the bibliography name already has come, so I don't have to give the references. Okay. And whenever I insert a new bibliography there, a new citation, it will automatically be updated. You need to once click there. If you just click the mouse here, update the citations and bibliography, it will be automatically updated. So simple. So now, okay, it was according to APA style, American Psychological Association, but your instruction was something different. Your guideline was something different. Your university wants it should be in MLS style or Chicago style. Then what you will do is just change the style from here. If it is MLS style, just click. You can see the differences. you'll find the differences. You can see here now how it looks now. You see all the underlines you can see now, underlines. Then the year of publication has come to the last. And if it is the page number, it also came last. The Anupam Chandas, the format has been changed. It is not italics now, it is underlined. Chanda, the full name has come. Anupam Chanda, Anupam full name has come. But in the previous APA style, it was only A, not the full name. And you can see the style of the entry. Again, if you want to change the style to Chicago or something else, Chicago, so you can change it. Just only you need to select the style. So here you can see in the style button, you'll find Chicago has been selected and the style has been changed now. Again, I'll see Anupam Chanda's article, the book, RFID applications. So there is again one change. You can see the year of publication at the last, and RFID has become italics now. So you can switch over to any of the formats or any of the styles, whatever you want. Once you insert the source of citation or source of secondary data, after that, whatever the style you want, and proper citation is very, very important. Here, nobody can say you that you have not followed the standard. You don't have to worry about whether you have wrongly put a title into italics, or somewhere you have made it in bold font. Sometimes you have underlined it. You don't have to worry about all those things. The system will automatically carry all the rules and guidelines and give you the correct output. Okay, so fine, we have done this. So I'm not going to use the Mendeley. After installing the Mendeley plugin, so you can see there is a change in my tab here. You can see the menu, Mendeley Cytomatic. So that plugin has been installed when I was installing the installing this part. So may I now just request one of the participants or whoever is having a Word file. I can give you 2-3 minutes time. So let me drink a sip of water. Just what you will do, you just put one citation and create the bibliography. Maybe 1 or 2 books, or 1 journal article and 1 book. And if
Sir,
you just chat, yeah.
Yes, Dhruva, tell me.
Yeah, I think I have crossed the limit.
If
the time has
sir will
already been
stop.
over. Should I take 15 minutes more, if you allow me? I want to see whether the student, the participants will be able to do it or not. And I'll move faster within 10-15 minutes and just show them how to use Mendeley and insert the citations in a report. Dr. Rose,
Yes, sir.
and what about the participants? Can I move forward or should I stop here?
Yes, please, sir. Please move ahead.
Yes, sir. You can move.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. So the students who are having a file, as I instructed you, if you have a Word file, if you can just open the file and just if you can do it, just insert a title, imaginary title you can get. You can put your own name in the author's name field, and you can put an imaginary title and give any publisher name or your publications. And just I want to see, yes, sir, I have done this. You just type here in the chat box, yes, sir, I have done this. So I'll be very happy enough. And after that, I'll move to the last part of my discussion, that is mentally how to that is
Yes, sir. I can show it.
Dromosity. Will you please share your screen and show
Yes, sir.
all the participants
Yes,
how you
sir.
have done
If
this?
you please stop presenting, then I can share,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah. I'm doing it. Yeah, Dromosity. Everybody wants to see your slide.
Is it visible, sir?
It's coming, Drobo. Yeah. We can see the screen now. Yeah. It is visible. All can see how he has done this. We can see his MS Word file.
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Ija, now have you inserted the citation there, in text citation? Now just create the bibliography.
Sir, till now I have not.
Yeah. Please do it so that everybody can see it.
We have to go to the references, then, sir, manage sources.
Yeah. Please go to references.
Then we can click new. Accordingly, we can. Yes, sir.
Yeah, choose the type of
select
source. You can
book section or journal article as per our
requirement. Yeah, the source that we have taken.
Then
you just
yes, sir.
Select.
I have taken journal article as my option.
Fine. Yeah.
Then suppose one name.
Yeah, I understand the participants. They have been attending the sessions since 10 o'clock in the morning, and they are still controlling their patience and listen to my lecture. But still, I thought that if we have some practical applications, whatever we discuss, that'll be better. And if any of the students is having any questions, so that can also put in the chat box. We can promptly discuss on those issues if you have some queries. So manually is very important, very useful. So I'll just move from this. If University Braguhai just completes his this part, if he can show us how to do it. Yeah, just do it quickly. It's not that, the spelling should be correct or something. You take the cursor to the last of the page, Dhruvo. Take the cursor to the last of the page. Move to a new page here. Yeah. You give a page break. Click insert. Yeah. It's okay, fine. It's very good. You make it bigger. Make the file bigger. Zoom it. Yeah. Okay, it's very good. Chanda A 2020 Scientometric Analysis of Biochemistry Research, Library High Tech. Very good. Journal name of the journal has come in italics form. Then, which is coming next? Yeah, volume number and issue number. Can you change this to a different style? This is APA style, I think.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, just you can choose Chicago or any other styles.
This is Chicago.
Okay, yeah, the style has been changed. Very good, very nice. Yeah, yeah, that's it. Very good. And the sources, the suggestions that you have stored, you have tagged, that will be stored forever. You can use it whenever you want. Thank you, Dhruvo. So let me move to the next presentation. You can stop sharing now. Thank you
Thank
very
you, sir.
much. Yeah. Uh, I need to take special permission from the organizing committee because I am taking much time. I should have completed by 3:30, and it is 4:47, 3:47 now. So I'll just quickly show you the Mendeley, and after that I'll finish it.
No problem, sir.
Okay. Again, let me open up that file. Okay. So yeah, that we have done it. Here, okay, fine. I don't know whether you just create your report. I mean, some of the elements are very important. You can create automatic tables. You can add automatic figures, list of figures, list of tables. I mean, table of contents automatically. But I don't want to show all it. But if I just click once, I'll get a complete table of contents. There is also one process. You can go through it. So here there is no table of contents. If I click table of contents here, it will automatically come because I have made my report in such a way that I'll get the table of contents automatically. Okay, just let me click here. Yeah, you can see my table of contents automatically has come up. So you don't have to see which chapter on which page and which subheading is where. You don't have to see all this. My table has automatically come. So while making a report or thesis or dissertations, so there are some techniques how to do it automatically. So let me move to now Mendeley. Is my screen visible to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Okay, let me download an article first from maybe which source I need to check. Let me check. So after installing Mendeley software, you will find an icon like this. Let me show you. Already I have showed you this one. You can see under references tab, you will find a group which is for Mendeley cytometic. So this group you will find. If you don't install the plugin, you will not find this group. So that's why I asked you to just install it, and you'll find the Mendeley desktop manager also. So here in my desktop, you can see the Mendeley desktop is available. Mendeley desktop is available, so I can see what is available in desktop Mendeley. And you may also find the same Mendeley software or desktop manager in your system. Okay, now let me download one article from maybe DLIF. DLIF magazine. Okay. So let me go to the current issue. So this is an open access journal on digital library. So let me just download one article from this. Which one I should take? Anyone? Okay, let me take this one. Opening the publication process with executable research compendia. There are many authors. Let me download this article. Let me see where is the download option, if it is there. Or otherwise, we can have a different article which is already in my list. Or we can move to other sources also. And let me see whether I am having some already downloaded articles or not. Okay, let me take from here, journal article. Let me change the name. For demo. Okay, so I've changed the title of the journal article to journal article for demo. Okay, let me see whether I can insert it in my Mendeley library or not. The process is very simple. When users open the Mendeley desktop, let me ask Dhruvo. Dhruvo, have you installed Mendeley desktop in your system?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So just now what we'll do, we have to go to the folder or the file which we want to add into Mendeley library. So if this is the article that I want to insert, just drag and drop, very simple. Just drag it and go to Mendeley library. So this is the page of Mendeley desktop, and just drop it here. Drop it here. Yeah. So you can see this, what I have just dropped. So this is bibliometric study. Let me check whether that article is same or not. Let me check. Yeah, bibliometric study of scholarly productivity. Fine. Mohammad Anwarul Islam and Pradeep Kumar Roy. So that was the article. So what we have done, we have just drag and dropped here in our library. Now, if you click here, you'll find the metadata, all the bibliographic information. All the bibliographic information you will find over here. It was written by Islam. And here maybe some of the contents. And if you want to see the full journal article, we just click under the files and it will show you the article. So this is the article that we have just put it into Mendeley desktop. And now we can add the reference in our publications. That means what we have done, this is one of the publications or secondary data, one article from where we have put some information, some data in our own write-up, in our report, in our thesis, or in our dissertations, or in our paper. Now you want that there should be a proper citations of this particular article. And we don't have to remember the rules, which format. First of all, we want to just know which format we want. After that, we don't have to remember the guidelines or standards, how to make it italics or not, how to put it in the bracket or not. It will be automatically done. Now let me move to, so what we have done here, we have added this particular article, the publications in our Mendeley desktop. Now we want the citation of this particular article in our write-up, in our dissertations. Now let's move to my, so that was my dissertations, draft dissertations. Now I want, for example, here I have taken this particular part, I have taken from that particular article. Okay, let me make it, for example, red, so that I can understand. So this particular part I have collected, I have taken from that particular article, or the idea I have got it from there. Now I want the suggestion. So what I'll do now, I don't have to type everything here. So because I'm using Mendeley now, so what I'll do, I need to just see insert suggestion. Sorry. Yeah, this was the Mendeley. Yeah, I think you have seen one difference here. It's hanging. Let me check. Okay, let me make a different in this particular file. Here is already something is there. So let me make a new file quickly. Just wait for some time. I'm making a new file, a small file. Okay, I can use it, this one. So I am using this one. Okay, for example, I have just this particular part I have taken from So when you click on this insert suggestion, one small window will pop up, and here you need to search that particular article. So here the article was by Islam. So that was the article. So if we just search the article, it will give me the suggestion here. After confirming, I just click OK. So now you can see this particular Islam and Roy 2021. This index suggestion has come. Now, if I want to see the bibliography here or reference, I don't have to type again. So I just click on insert bibliography. It will come. Now you can see. So this is the reference which has automatically come. Islam A and Roy PK 2021. And if I want to change the format, the style, that I can easily do it. So that means what I have done, the information sources, the articles I have downloaded into my system. So after that, I have just drag and drop to my library, desktop, Mendeley desktop library, and whenever there is a need of inserting a bibliography or reference, I just selected it and put it in my text or under the references. So that is one way. And the second way is to just see the bibliography or any of the articles you search for any of the articles anywhere. It can be Scopas, it can be any article. Now you have seen this plugin in Mendeley, Google Chrome. Just click there. You will find one window will pop up, and it will ask you whether you want to add it into the system, into the desktop, Mendeley desktop or not. So we have to just click it here. So this is the article opening the publication process. So what I have done, I have gone to the website, I have selected the publication. Then I just need to check here. Then add to Mendeley. If I click here, you can see opening the publication process with executable research compendia. It will be moved to that my library. So opening the publication process with executable research compendia. If I see here, I must have to see this. It will come here. It will display. And with this example, I just finish it. It is coming because of maybe network issue. It is taking time. And the article was, which was the article? Opening the publication process. Opening the publication process. It has not come yet. It will come to this library, and whenever you want,
you can refresh once. Then maybe it will come.
Yeah, maybe.
Synchronize.
Yeah. Yeah, we need to sync it. We need to refresh it once. You need to refresh it once and it will come.
Yeah, it is coming now. It has come, sir.
Yeah. Which one?
Last fourth one.
Yeah.
Last fourth.
Yeah, right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Huh? Opening the publication process. So this was the article that we have just checked in the website, and we want that this publication should be available in my system. I want to put a reference, proper reference of this particular article. So again, the same procedure will follow. Just opening the publication process, and who is the author? Daniel. So let me search here. So let me go there again. Let me search in this tab. Insert the citation. Fine. Daniel. B-A-N. Yeah, this was the publication. So I need to just confirm it. Okay. Then this has come. You can see the reference. I have got it automatically. So I have discussed only 2 matters. It will take time if I discuss other 2 matters also, but more or less the other matters are very same. But my point was how to insert a proper reference for a source that we have got it or we have collected from different websites or different e-consortia. And you need to give proper reference because there are issues of plagiarisms and all those cases. There are some, very bad cases also. If you want that your article should be accepted for publications or your thesis or dissertations should be accepted by the universities, you should have the proper reference in your text. That is very, very important in your report. So with that, I would like to conclude, and I just again, just forgive me, all the organizing committee members who are present today, because I have taken much time. I should have completed my presentations by 3:30, but it is 4 and 6 now. But I just thank all the participants for having patience and listening to my lectures, and all Anupam Chanda and the person who is just having the control about technicalities.
Dr.
So,
Pankaj Bora and
college.
Dr. Manojjyoti Bora, sir.
Yeah, Manojjyoti Bora and Pankaj Bora, both of you, I must thank you for arranging the session for me, and the whole organizing committee for giving me the chance for sharing my ideas. And I don't think that there will be time to have the interactions with the participants. So we can have the interactions in future also. I'll have the email IDs which they can collect it from the organizing committee, and they can send me messages, no problem. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for being with us for 2.5 hours almost. And I think I would like to take the privilege of inviting you to the Google Classroom also, where participants can post their questions and where you can reply them.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much, sir. Thank you, sir. The session was a very informative and interesting one. Sir, your words on the types